untitled document, thousands of years ago, before science, before satellites, before history was written, humanity told the same story, not once, not in one place, but across the entire world. A story about water, a story about destruction, a story about a world that ended and began again. This is not a religious video, and it is not a myth meant to entertain, because what makes this story disturbing is not the flood itself, but the fact that civilizations that never met remembered it the same way. Floods are natural. They happen everywhere. So at first, ancient flood stories seem easy to explain until you look closer, because these stories do not describe random floods. They describe the same sequence. A warning is given. A small group survives. The rest of humanity disappears, and civilization must begin again. From nothing, this same pattern appears, again and again, in Mesopotamia, in India, in Greece, in the Americas, even on distant islands. Different gods, different names, the same structure, which raises a question. Why would cultures separated by oceans invent the same detailed story? The oldest written flood account comes from ancient Mesopotamia, on clay tablets, more than 4,000 years old. We find the Epic of Gilgamesh. Inside it is the story of a man named Utnapishtim. He is warned in advance that a massive flood will destroy humanity. He is told to build a large vessel, to preserve life, to survive total annihilation. When the flood arrives, the text describes violent storms, raging waters, and cities disappearing beneath the sea. After days of destruction, the boat comes to rest. On a mountain, birds are released. Dry land is found. Life begins again. This story was written long before the Bible. It was not borrowed from later religion. It stands on its own. Thousands of kilometers away, ancient India preserved a strikingly similar account. A man named Manu is warned by a divine being in the form of a fish. He is told, a great flood is coming. He builds a boat. He saves the seeds of life. When the waters recede, humanity begins again. Through him. In ancient Greece, humanity is judged corrupt. A great flood is sent. Only a single couple survives. After building a vessel, the world is wiped clean. A new age begins. These cultures had no contact with each other, yet they remembered the same disaster. In the same way, even more disturbing are the flood stories of the Americas, civilizations completely isolated from the old world, tell stories of overwhelming waters that destroyed previous worlds. Some describe humanity being wiped out entirely. Others speak of survivors who rebuilt civilization again.
Destruction.
Survival. rebirth. At this point, coincidence becomes difficult to defend. Modern science confirms something important. At the end of the last ice age, Earth experienced massive climate change. Glaciers melted rapidly. Sea levels rose by more than 100 meters. Entire coastlines vanished. Early human settlements were almost always built near water. For those people, this was not gradual change. It was the end of the world. Communities disappeared. Knowledge was lost. Survivors were forced to migrate, adapt, and rebuild. Science cannot confirm a single global flood, but it can confirm a period of catastrophic flooding that reshaped human civilization. So we are left with an uncomfortable possibility. What if these stories are not myths? What if they are memories, fragments of a disaster so ancient that it predates written history, preserved through oral tradition, because it nearly wiped us out? If that is true, then human history did not begin where we think it did. It began after something was lost. The question is no longer, did a great flood happen? The real question is, what else? Did humanity forget?